Hello, hello, and welcome back to the greatest love of all podcast. Today we are diving into spiritual growth. I'm sure that at some point in your life you thought, should I not? What is that whole thing of spirituality? Do I need religion? Is it ever too early, too late to start? So today we're going to answer all of those questions and many more. I am one of your hosts, Izabela, and I'm joined by Ingvar. Hello.
Hello again.
Hello again, indeed. So, Ingvar, we thought today we will talk about spiritual growth. There is so much about it, I guess, especially in that whole, new world, new age kind of circles. The Hollywood actresses are all about, you've got to grow spiritually and, all of that. And but actually, I just wanted to bring it down to that kind of very basic human level. So first of
Mm.
all, like, how would you define spirituality? Like, what do we class as spirituality in all of this?
This can be a difficult question.
It
Uh,
was supposed to be a really easy one. I thought that's
uh,
start with the basics.
I think this can be different for, depend of the person, but we are different in a way, but we are the same in a way also. So we have different needs and we have the same needs too. And I think this is something from which is inside us, which is calling us or something what we are missing. And we want, we have a kind of curiosity who we are. We want to know why we came here on the earth or who we are, and we want to resolve this mystery, what kind of beings we are. Even if we don't know yet, maybe we are interested in religion, we are interested in universum, we are, we can be interested in some magical, things in the magic, or just can be also that begin from the problems who of the person who has the difficult period in his life also can be because of something was happened and people are don't know why was happened this, and can be because of traumas in the families, can be because of unhappy life. So you want to fix. So this can be also the reason that you are begin to be interesting in those things because they are connected, but from this beginner point of view, he is not, at once aware of this, but the later, when this knowledge is growing, so he is discovering, oh, it is connected to this and this and this. Oh, because of this, this was happened, or because of that, that was happened. Because of that, I am here, and because of that, that is, my curiosity to discover this, to go on this path, to grow spiritually, and to realize that they are on this spiritual pathway and they to grow, of course, to grow because always it is to grow.
So it's really interesting because I think a very common misconception is the fact that spirituality equals religion. And even, if you asked anybody who that's what most people would actually start thinking about. But actually, it's so much more because it's about that inner growth, that inner understanding of why things are the way they are, and kind of coming to peace with that, especially in difficult situations, as you say, especially if that need for spiritual growth comes from constraint and pain, as often it does. And then there is the element of really exploring the unknown, because those are the things that we can't prove in the same way that physics is being proved, right? Like proven
Mhm.
that, this is not the A to B and it's the same like this. It's not. It's what's behind the veil of visible, right? It's
Mhm.
all those things that we feel that may be right. We feel something is right. We feel something is wrong. That's spirituality. And yes, it can have a lot to do with our understanding of God. Some people choose to go through that path, but it doesn't have to be that way either. So
Mhm.
when we talk about spirituality, I think it's important to say we don't necessarily talk about religion, because I feel like that has a potential to almost switch people off. Sometimes, there is so much misconception about religion and there is so much divide. Oh, if you are Christian, I can't possibly talk to you because I'm Muslim. And, the other way around. Like, this is nothing to do with that. It doesn't have to. It may for you, but it doesn't have to be necessarily that way. So I think this is so, so important to highlight and just say, no, spirituality is not just religion. There is actually a lot more to it. So, okay, so we kind of defined spirituality. I feel like this is quite a tricky definition, because of that personal element. So, the first step, I guess, is understanding that you want to be on that path, right? Whatever that understanding is for you, I guess, right? Like you reach a certain point in your life where you are like, okay, it's time for me to grow. I need to explore a bit more. Is that how that typically works? How do you know that you are on the path of spiritual growth?
Uh, I think it isn't necessary to know that that you are on this pathway on the beginning. And people, I'm always saying that they are people who knows that they are on this pathway, and another side it is that the people, they don't know this, but they are, but they are unconscious of it.
Yes.
But the another, and you can, for example, you can say that those people are have some different experience. They can describe their thoughts, their thinking, their feelings in this way that you can discover that they are on this pathway. They are actually very aware of this, but maybe they haven't named it.
But now that you say it, don't you think that we are all meant to be on some form of path to spiritual growth? Like, is that not what we are all doing through living in
We
general?
we we are all on the spiritual pathway, all.
Good.
Even if we don't know that, but we are. But do you remember that some podcasts ago I told you that we are in the classes? We
Yes.
are in the different classes, and maybe we are on the first class, or some of them they are on the
Yeah.
second, or I don't know, some higher level
You might be
knowledge.
university or kindergarten.
Yes.
It
So
just
so
depends.
so you see,
Yeah.
it is like that.
Yeah.
Because all of us, we are coming from the same root. We are a oneness. You will not find any person who is worse than you, because then if you think like this, that you are, in a kind of trap of your thinking. But if you meet someone who is making trouble for you, that is a reason for that. This can be, have a reason that it is, makes you that you have to find a solution. And this finding solution, it is also a thing which is making you that imperative, that it makes you that you are growing So you see, it is in this way.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, yeah, it's typically the pain in some way
Mhm.
forces us to grow. Like it's the growth hardly ever occurs, when you are like, padded from each side, everything is, that you are then standing still, right? The growth
Mhm.
in any aspect of life usually comes from just pushing through the hardest, the harder bits, overcoming obstacles and, and all of that. So this kind of is very much the case for spiritual growth too, right? You kind of have to be willing to go into the places that maybe don't have the light turned on. You need to find the switch, put the switch on.
Yes, it can be, the reason, as you said, it can be because of
Mm,
some difficulties in your life of traumas,
yeah.
and can be just simple that, from the, child, when you are a child, then you, on the night when you are falling asleep, you have some dreams, and you are flying, and you are discovering the different worlds, different spaces. Some of those people have some guides, which is guiding them to the different places, or just telling them what will be in the next day, for example, or after some years, for example. So you see, it is kind of naturally that they are know that they are on this
Mm.
pathway. On the other side, people who are don't know this, it is nothing specially was happening to them, and just once something was happen, and then they are starting to be aware that they are on this spiritual growth pathway. But also, I remember when I was starting my journey, I told you that I was on this Silva Method course. But before I was reading magazines where it was about the spiritual uh, knowledge, and there was of course the article about the Silva method, and I wrote this once, and after a few months once again, and I wanted meditate. So that's, I think, I will try it. And of course, my mother wrote a book. I find out this that she wrote this book, and I find it in my home. So I just wrote it and read it. Excuse me. I just read it, and then I try to make an exercise with this meditation. But after I went a course, and I start to see aura. But I remember that I wasn't, convinced that this is what I see. This is the aura. Maybe it is some imagination or something like this, or some problem with my eyes or something. But because I wanted to be sure for sure that
Like,
is
I need to
this,
make it.
yes, this what I see, it is
Mm.
exactly those colors, those energies, that is aura. I went on the course that was a man, and we a man who is made a workshop that was about the mudras. But this mudras you will make with whole body, So this was difficult. You should make some difficult position, and you should stay in this position for 45 or 55 minutes, or something like that. That was very uncomfortable. But I remember my teacher, I mean, this man was sitting in the front of me, and I was watching him, and I always could see what kind of aura he had, because it was changing, different colors. And for example, when was the mudra of the water, so I could see that was a blue color, and when was the fire mudra, so then I could see that there is a red and the orange. So, and I was, of course, describing this, what I could see. There was also two young girls. I think they were about 14 or 15, something like that. Their story, it was very interesting for me because it it seems that they were very aware of this, that they are, on this spiritual pathway, because they were telling that about their previous lives, so previous incarnations. They were telling about that they are traveling when they are, dreaming. That was very interesting for me because, on this time I could see only, this aura, and of course I had some feelings, and my heart was open because I could feel, but this was something new for me. So you see, from the beginning, these two girls, they were, very aware of their pathway, and this was just very natural for them. So this is the one example. Also, one of the point of this workshop was aura course, that yes, they teaching, yeah, teaching course also. So I felt that, okay, if I go there, so maybe they will convince that this what I see, it is aura. So of course, and this was, a kind of trick. He told me later that, because to bring people to this workshop, uh, he put, on this topic, that this will, people will be interested in this, and they will go on this course. So, and of course, they catch me as a fish, of course, in this. So I went there, and after, on the end, we were doing this, but actually it was like that he was describing how, because he could see the aura, and he was describing what he could see, and I was describing what I could see. And from this, I knew that I know this what I see, it was the same what he see, and this what he
Yeah.
see was the same what I see. So you see, it was for me very, satisfying, because from this I convinced,
Confirmation. Yeah.
yes, that this what I see, it was the aura. So
And I think that life gives us opportunities. There are many opportunities throughout our life where we get a situation presented to us that gives us opportunity to explore more or not. And it's, it doesn't have to be kind of a big whack in your face. Here you go. It could be very subtle. It just could be very subtle where you have opportunity to question, and it's like, do you choose
mhm,
that path or do you not? Do you take it? Okay, not this time.
yes,
Next time then,
and when I was on this healing course,
Mm.
of course, I met people who were interested in the same things what I am. I mean, the healings methods, and how to meditate. And of course, we had a teacher also, a clairvoyant, who was, having workshops, and he was arrange a workshop in the mountains. So some group of those people went there, and I also went there. So after we were, of course, exchanging our this what we felt on this workshop, and I remember that there was a mother and a son. Son was, I think, maybe in the same age as I was there. It was so, and of course he was attending on those courses, on the meditations, and after the while he went on the church of course, some people who were attending on those all those meetings, they were also very religious. So, and he was also, and he went on the some specific, But I remember that he was started to be afraid after, because he got some information that this is something wrong, of course. That is the spiritual growing, it's coming from the devil. Only what is in this group is allowed to believe, and those others, this is something wrong. And he was very scared. And after, when we met, he was so scared after. And after he was so depressed. So, and I was curious why this was happen. He was so much open, and after, when he came there, he was so scared. But I'm not telling that this group, it is bad group. No, I'm not telling, but I'm just telling the story of this man. I remember that I met him some on the after some years. So he left this group, but he wasn't so he wasn't as before. I mean that he was so close. So but I know there also another stories that the people were on they were changing religions. They were Catholics, after they begin Muslims, after they begin Jewish. This is their pathway too. Because what they want to know. They were searching for something for them. What is the energy, the vibration, what is connected to them. So maybe on the some periods that was this Catholic religion, and after was this Muslim, and after was Jewish. So you see, it is the different. We are so many people on the world, so we have a different stories and different reasons to go on our own path.
Yeah. But also we get different
Pathway.
tools, right? And the religion is a tool. It's not, it's not the way, it's just a tool. So we have very different tools at our disposal depending on where we are in the world. And I think that's like, as you are talking about it, that's how I'm squaring the religion aspect of it. It's a tool that we have available at our disposal to explore spirituality further. And there is no right or wrong. And in one of the previous episodes, you've even checked, which religion was the most important one, or the one that would enable you to grow further and whatever. It's like there is no one answer. They are just different tools, and we all work with different tools in different ways. That's as simple as that.
And of course, when when we are aware of this, that we are a part of the oneness, when we know that our soul is creating our life, you see on this some from different position, what is religion and what is your soul, who you are. And so you see, you have a different parallel. So different perceiving.
And it's actually, it's such a beautiful thing, because there is no one way to grow. Like, we all have unique paths, and there is no right or wrong. And I think that this, in a way, is the most important message from it, that you can choose the path you want to take. You don't have to follow what somebody else has done. And maybe you shouldn't either. You should listen to your heart and find the path that has been designed for you specifically, for you to get on, right?
Yes, because you are unique, and everyone is unique. So maybe it is just like if it's what you eat, you are this what you eat, yes. And but you can find the apple, you can find the plums, you can find the bananas, and some people don't like the bananas. They prefer apples and the
Yeah.
pears, and So you see, you can choose what you like, and you can eat what you like.
That's
So
it.
this is, and of course, uh, this what is also important. You have to, eat a healthy food. So the healthy knowledge. So this you feel in your heart what is best for you. So if you are feeling here, but sometimes, you have to eat something to know that you don't like this, to don't eat once again this. So, but people just, they always want to uh, think like this, that I have to be guided in this way that, in my life, I will get only a good things. Yes, the simple situation, the best for me. But if will be like that, so you will not learn anything.
No. No, that's it. That's the thing, that we are afraid to make decisions sometimes because we don't want to get hurt. And that's, such a natural reaction. We want to protect ourselves
Mhm.
from hardship, from, it's like, and sometimes we get into that paralysis of decision making because of that. And
Mhm.
actually, it's just like letting go and choosing where it feels the best, and actually just knowing that whatever happens is meant to be, right?
Not everything is so simple as
Mm.
from your position today, for example. You may say it is not so simple, but this is today because you are, for example, in the first class. And but when you will learn this, so when you are in the third class or fourth class, so then okay, may say now it is easy for me. You will never say it is difficult because it is easy. So because you get know how to resolve the
Mm.
problem, this problem. So today here, maybe it can be difficult, but after the while, you will learn this and you will manage to fix or understand, maybe to avoid the problem. And this is all about to know yourself. You meet the different situation and then you know yourself, and you discovering that the energies which you are, for example, producing because
Yeah.
of your beliefs, because of this what you are aware, or this what you are not aware. Yes, so you see, this is about the different about you all the time. So you know the energy is coming to you, and you meet this energy. You need the person which have this energy, or you meet the situation which have uh, uh, this complex of energies. You have to work with this, and then you are growing. You are growing. So on the beginning, your knowledge can be not so big about this, but after it's bigger, and you know yourself. What is your emotion? How to work with your emotions? How to work, without, stopping this overthinking, for example, because when you are thinking too much, then you can't stop this. You are a slave in a way.
Yeah.
So, so then, and of course, the emotions, and when you know how to adjust this, so then you are, you know, you begin a master of it. So, and you know you better, you know yourself, and when you know yourself, then you are confident. So you see, it is growing, 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 and day after day, it is this your spiritual pathway.
And I think it's about opening up both your mind and your heart
Mhm.
into the possibility of something new and unknown. And because that's the thing, when you start stepping into the path of spiritual growth, you don't know where it's going to take you, and actually nobody knows, right? Like it could take so many different possibilities, and you probably still can't imagine where that's going. So it's just being open to that, rather than, because the natural reaction is to be closed to the unknown. If it's unknown, I can't possibly go there. Like, it's just but no, it's actually just opening a tap and wanting to go in there and start turning the lights on as you go.
Mhm.
It's
Right.
simple. Yeah. Somebody who's watching this video is probably realizing already that they
Mhm.
are on some sort of spiritual path.
Mhm.
Um, but
Mhm.
do we ever feel like, somebody who's, I don't know, 60s, 70s, 80s, and they are like, oh, actually, should they think maybe it's too late? I've wasted the whole of my life, you know?
Never it's too late. I mean, just as I said before, even if you are not aware of this, that you are spiritual growing, you are growing, you are on this pathway, but unconsciously. But,
Yeah.
I met a lot of people who were on the pension, that a pensionist who were extremely interested in those thinking, those, spiritual growing. And a lot of them were sad that after when they went on the pension, they start to, leave. So I mean that they were
They had
start to
more
be
time
interested
to
in those
explore.
things.
Yeah,
Yes, because
that's
they
it.
they have a free time for it. You know, so they
That's
have so they have a space for it. So they could do this what they have couldn't do because of the work, because of the
yeah,
family, of the duties, and now just it is the
yeah,
time, the best time for them. So you see,
that's
it is
interesting.
never
Yeah.
never too late.
No, and that's a really interesting point, because actually, I'm in my prime working age at the moment, and I have young family. It's really difficult to find time for you, because
Hmm.
especially I think maybe more so as a mother, I tend to be there for everybody before I am there for myself. Like that's the
Hmm.
default, right? So
Hmm.
how can you combine the two? Can you combine the busy lifestyle? Can you combine the fact that, work, the various different demands from every possible direction are heading your way? How
Hmm.
do you combine that with the want and need to grow spiritually?
I think this what I will tell now. It is very important. So when you think that this is your life, full of duties. Yes, you have your work, you have your children, family, yes, and you have no time for yourself. But, and okay, today it is Sunday, I have a time to meditate, or then I will find some 15 or half hour for myself because my family will, they left the house, they went on the trip or something like this. Yes, I have a time for me. Yes. So you have one word and you have the second word.
Yeah.
So you see the different frequencies here and different frequencies here. But actually, it is way of your thinking. It is way of your beliefs. So when you are know that all this, it is you. I mean, this time when you have this free time and this time when you are busy. This is also you. So when you put this together, when you know this, that you are growing spiritually every time, and you are, or you maybe you may yourself to be in the heart in this difficult time also, when you have no time for it, but actually you have a time, but it is depend what you are choosing, because you are choosing stress, you are choosing, a time to be out of your heart, and this you are calling my simple, or not simple, but my ordinary life. No, you can be in this ordinary life in your heart, and then you will change your life. So you see, and the same it is in business. No, because this is work, this is the business. So I have to be different in this situation, and when I go back with my friend, I am different. So you are choosing, two different version of you. So you are creating different versions of you. So, but you are, when you are, connect this, and you don't have to, make a difference. If you make this everything in one. So when we know this, that we are a oneness, no, we are the oneness. So make your life one. So your heart, it's one. Your life, it's one. I told some podcasts ago that you are the life. You are your own life, because it's coming from you. It's coming from your soul. So when you know this, it is actually a very good information. So you see, it is coming from you. You are your soul. It is creating your life. So it comes from you, from your energy. So
So
you
in a way,
see,
it's a kind of you have to learn to combine the two together, to merge them, to stop, because we put two different compartments, and we need to find a way to merge them together so that they are no longer separate, because they are not separate, but you in your head make it separate. So
Mhm,
you need to bring them together in order
mhm.
to kind of grow it together, right? So it sounds simple, but I think it is a little bit harder than than that. Like, for most people, right? Like it's not something you can tell yourself once and then be at one with everything and all is fine. If it was that simple, I think it
Mhm.
would be amazing. But it's not quite that simple though, is it?
But you have your whole life for it.
Well, that's true.
Yes,
That's true. That's true. That's why I guess
to
we
make
have the
this
time.
one. Yes.
Yeah, that's
So you
it.
see, if you think like that, no, it is not 5 minutes to try it. No, it is all life. You see?
A lifetime,
Oh,
yeah.
then, wow. I have
That's
enough
it.
time for it. Yes. That's why you see the cells of your body can work differently, because this cell can have a different information, another different information. So you see, when you make you know everything in a one field, I mean a field of your heart. So you see that one information is spreading everywhere. So, and then you reconnect yourself. You reconnect this what was, closed, what you couldn't, unified. So then your reconnection with those energy, what you thought was not belonging to you, but now you know that it is belonging to you. And this is what I was telling about feeling a reach, because then when you know this, you are feeling a reach because of your energy. So you feel your energy, that you are not only a body, that you feel that this energy around you, it is also you. And so you go there and you feel yourself. You feel not only your body, you feel the energy in the front of you, on the back, on the sides. So you see, so you reconnected. You just, you are bigger than you thought you are. It is in a way this way. And of course, you have some steps of understanding. You have a time to do it, and so you have the time to practice. So just practice, and what you think it is, close when is some boundaries. So then you may change. You can resolve the problems. You can take down the boundaries, and then you feel okay. Now I feel better because the stuck energy, it is coming back to you, because to making a blocks a stocks, so it is also very heavy, to holding this state,
Yeah.
because the energy is not flowing then. So because a part of you, it's blocking this information, so you have to find out the way how to unlock the block. So you see.
I think that the other thing that can be helpful, I think, is we can always ask for, I guess, a spiritual guide, right? Like there can always be somebody who will appear in your life and somehow take you or guide you where you need to go. And sometimes actually it was our great uncle, my husband's great uncle, who said, if you need help, you've got to ask for it. And actually just sometimes that moment of realizing that maybe I need some help, and being willing to ask for it, that bit I think is important. And I think the help comes in different ways to us through different people, different circumstances, but just asking for that guidance could be very, very helpful. Sometimes people come to our life seemingly out of nowhere, and they will just give that valuable nudge to the path that you are meant to be on, right?
Yeah, but we have to also understand that our higher self, it's always with
Always there.
us. So it's always listening us. Maybe we should first ask
Good point.
our higher self, and then everything what we are doing, we should do by higher self.
And
So
this is
this will be, you see.
such important part of the lesson, because actually, by default, we think that we need to search for answers outside. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's never something that we've been conditioned naturally to go within to look for the answer, or to ask for help from within. Like that's just not so natural. We naturally reach out. We say, it's the religions that point us that way. It's like you have to pray, and so some external power will come and save you, right? Like it's all the cartoons tell us that, if,
Mm-hmm.
all the superheroes come externally, but actually that's the biggest lesson. And I know, it's I can get caught off guard just like now, and actually you are right. It's like It's there, like right
Mhm,
here. The answers are
mhm,
right there. It doesn't have to be external, but it
mhm.
can be too. So,
Can be. Yes, that's why you meet the people, can get some advice, and you can be inspired by them, of course. So you see, if this cannot become by this inner ways, it can, of course, but maybe because of some, blocks or some beliefs, so can come from outside.
and it's actually tuning into that. I remember, so I will tell you a story now. I remember, so my very very first spiritual guide was my auntie Ella. Bless her, she's no longer with us, but she introduced me to the whole concept of tarot and the astrological energies and things like that. It's just phenomenal. As a 16-year-old, actually I wasn't even 16, maybe 13, 14-year-old, I was fascinated by it. That kind of opened up for me the curiosity into this world. But I remember later in life, I started to be really interested in acupuncture, and I found an amazing acupuncturist who she was really into like the Chinese energies and things like that. And for a while, she was fantastic. Like I really took a lot from going in to see her. But there came a moment I went to see her after a longer break, and I had such a clear message in my head that she's already served the purpose. She no longer does. Like, I can't do this again. This is no longer serving me in the best possible way. And it was so strange because I've
Mhm,
never had something like that happen to me. But it was so clear and such a strong feeling that no longer, I can't do this any longer. This is no longer serving me. So you
mhm,
have to be open to the fact that everything is just for a time being, right? Like it may have reached the maturity it needed to be, and then that's it. You've got to move on, right?
mhm.
Okay, so we've covered quite a lot today. Is there anything else that we should add before we will close today's topic of spiritual growth?
Yes, maybe the question it was, why should I do it?
Ah, that's a
Yes,
good question, right?
why?
Like, yeah, why? It's like I've got a happy life, I've got everything I need. Why should I be looking into spirituality and growth?
Mostly people will feel that they have this inner needs, inner calling, yes, this inner imperative, which is forcing them to do something because it is, coming directly from your soul, because your soul wants this, because wants to be developing. It is to know yourself because you are trying many different things, which making you that you are more aware of yourself. And as I said, there are different stages of being enlightenment also. For us here, soul is enlightenment, but we don't know this here. Mostly people they think no, soul it is only a part of the energy which when we are finishing life here, it is going to the heaven, or in some beliefs can be the different places. So so you see it, and this is the sometimes the soul they are perceiving this as a ball only, a you know which is living a body after people's death. We are much bigger, and the even this ball it can be only a part of us. So the soul is the a kind of hologram or something like uh, awareness, or a super intelligent field. So, but we are, from this position here, we are allowed only to perceive a part of it because of our vibration, of our, ability because we have some frequency, so we have some ability, narrow ability to see, to understand. But if you are, changing your frequency, I mean, you are trying, be more, universal. You will say like
More
that.
in tune with, more
Yes,
tuned in more into the universal
yeah,
frequencies around.
yes. So,
Yeah.
so you will understand more, and you will able to change your frequency. And of course, we know this that from the dreams. Yes. So
Mm.
you have some dream, and in this dream, you knew something that was so, this information. I know that. That was so mind-blowing thing. And when you was wake up, and then this knowledge is in a way disappearing because you are out of this level. So I mean out of this frequency. So you are not able to save this frequency because the frequency have a knowledge. So if you are able to save this frequency, I mean to be this frequency, so you will have this knowledge, you will have this understanding. It is all about know yourself, and if you perceiving you in a very narrow, from the very narrow, perspective, so then you will not understand everything, but day by day you will understand more and more and more and more. So that's why it is worth to go this pathway.
Yeah.
Because should I do it? Yes, because if you know yourself, you feel yourself better, and you are curious, you are feel the taste of yourself. And,
Yeah.
and I think this is the most important thing.
And it's a natural way to want more. That is not the kind of more that you get from, I don't know, gambling high or whatever else,
No.
right? Like it's completely different kind of more that it's so natural, so fitting, so smooth. It's just you belong to it. So if for nothing else, you should do it because life should be the greatest adventure or nothing at all, as somebody once very wisely said. so, so why not make the life adventure? And why not step on this exciting path of self-discovery and just creation, I guess, right? Because as you
Mhm.
get on the spiritual path, you discover that actually you can create a lot, as we've covered in previous episodes too. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you are curious about spirituality and a lot more, make sure to click subscribe because that's the kind of stuff we talk about. And we try to go deep into perhaps the avenues not so well explored. We turn the lights on where there is darkness, hopefully for you. And yeah, just have fun along the way, don't we, Ingvar?
Yes.
We do.
So please subscribe our channel and make a like.
Yes, give us a like or two. Thank you for tuning in.